I guess with regard to spirituality and writing the personal essay is an interesting thing to talk about.
Yeah.
The personal essay really is not about how much I know. It is what I think about what I know. And in some ways, theology, spirituality is not doctrine, it is not dogma. Spirituality is a way of seeing things, a way of comprehending your world and my world in ways that give us wisdom, give us comfort, give us endurance. These spiritual dimensions are really what spirituality is all about. If I had to say it in a nutshell, I'd use the old formula that says that the sum total of an event is equal, the full total of an event exceeds the sum of its parts. In a spiritual adventure, if a child comes up to me, a little kid, and hands me a little dandelion and says, "Would you like this, mister?" That's a kid comes up to me, gives me a dandelion and says, "You want it, mister?" But it's more than that. And that's the piece that I hope I could capture in my own thinking and my own awareness, to be sure, but also to put on paper, to invite other people to see. Well, the formula, I guess, is to see in the things that are familiar something new, and in the things that are new something familiar. It's the experience of catching something from the corner of your eye, and you can't let it go. Recently, I think I wrote a piece on the environment about the heron, blue heron, in the back of my, off my studio. One day I saw him standing there and swallow a crab, and I was amazed at, how you can get all that down there. But I couldn't let it go. I kept thinking about it and thinking about it and thinking about it, and then I had to just describe the incident, and that's how I got started. And it led me into environmental issues, it led me into the hurricanes. What do the herons do in the hurricanes? That's how it starts, from that tweak that catches you in the corner of your eye. There is better vision in the periphery than there is in the center of an eye, and psychologically and spiritually, I would say the same thing. It's the corner, it's the thing that would ordinarily pass you by, but you catch it and you ride it for a while, you twist it, you shake it, you turn it around, and finally you can see where it's taking you. Because I'm a romantic. It's very hard for romantics not to be interested in nature. People with romantic temperaments, maybe they get excessive about it. But the consciousness of the sheer wonder of how it all works is just marvelous. There's another aspect which is kind of fun to talk about. One of the things the essay requires is a certain amount of self-awareness, just enough to have a sense of humor about yourself, is to talk about when you wrote your essay in your senior year in high school, what I did on my summer vacation. What you did was, we got up in the morning at 6, we went to the mess hall, we went swimming afterwards, then we had arts and crafts. That's what he gives you. What he does not tell you as a 15, 16, is that he and a couple of his buddies found a place in the girls' locker room where they could peek in while they were taking showers and really have an eyeful. Now, I say that because what the early writing suggests is he does not know himself well enough to feel comfortable with it. So he's not going to tell you that. When you're old enough, and you're 84 like I am, who cares? Who cares? And so I have the luxury of a limited time, which is sort of like, the guy who's not going to be reelected. I can pretty much say what I want. The way I keep my sanity in the midst, or how am I doing? Keep my sanity in the midst of this is to really see us, is to believe in evolution. Evolution really is the name of the game. It doesn't mean we came from monkeys and it's not tidy like that. But the world is changing. Even the presence, for example, of the United Nations, which our administration is very contemptuous of, is a statement that the world is getting wise to something that suggests the way of our future is not nationalism. The way of our future is globalization. It's a dirty word, it's got political connotations, but I will tell you this, that with electronic communication, the way it's going today, the way travel is going today, the way the world is beginning to evolve with one language, and it sounds like it's going to be English, the suggestion of cooperation is so powerful in order to survive, but it's being ignored. It is somehow an image of kind of the cowboy who goes out there, shoots at everything that moves. This is not where it is. We are very much in our products, in our sales, in our religious activities, in our social engagements. We are woven tighter than a tick. And to ignore that really is to be contrary to the wave of the future. And that is my very firm belief. Our redemption will come when we can understand and begin, not to always agree, but to understand our neighbors well enough to be able to say hello without feeling that our enemies. And I do believe today there is a polarization that's being fomented unnecessarily. So to be old is not to be put on the shelf. To be old is to have stories, and as Elie Wiesel once said, God made us because he loves stories. And Joan Didion said a similar thing. She said, you know, we tell stories in order to live. Do you know, in that regard, from the time you get up in the morning until the time you go to bed at night, you are involved in telling stories. Whether it's, honey, where did you put my keys, until you take the car to the what shop, to when you go to bed at night and you dream and you're still in your dreams telling stories to yourself. It is endless the way our minds tell stories. But you know, I with all of my failing senses, gave up sailing 4 years ago. That's the hardest thing I've ever done in my life. I just was not agile enough. I was not strong. But with that sadness, there is also a satisfaction. Yeah, George, you're a lot clearer about what this is all about than you were when you were a young clergyman in the pulpit telling everybody what it was all about. I'm really okay with that. I'm satisfied with that. And I want to give whatever I've gotten out of that to others. That's really what makes me feel. So when people say, well, George, you just write about you, it's all about you. Yeah, it is all about me. And if I get it right, and I tell you all about me, it's also saying something about you.